Hello and thanks for watching Coral Gables Television. I'm Belkis Perez. Today on Coral Gables Now, the city's young professionals unite for a special cause. Want to learn more about the city's history? Well then grab your bike and let's go. Do you know what your kids are doing this summer? We've got several choices for you. Plus meet a young resident who hasn't even finished grade school and she's already been in a Broadway musical. Plus several fashion trends on prom. We'll have those stories and much more. Coral Gables Now starts right now. Welcome to Coral Gables Now. I'm Belkis Perez. You know, the city is known for having such a great arts and culture scene, and there's this one special group that's really doing their best to promote that scene. Joining us today is Christina Mas. She's the founding president of the Young Associates of the Coral Gables Museum. And thank you so much, Christina, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about that group.
We started the Young Associates about 3 years ago. I was in a board meeting and our museum was set to open in October. And in August, I realized we had to do something to coincide with Art Basel and really bring the young professionals into the museum. So I have an amazing committee that we've been working with for 3 years. And we do our annual fundraiser called Party on the Plaza. It's the first weekend of November. We're actually gearing up for our third one this year. Yeah. And it brought about 550 people into the City Beautiful last year. And we raised $35,000.
Wow. So it really has an impact. And are you just focused on the Coral Gables Museum?
Yes, that is our main goal. We want to bring awareness and raise funds for the museum, as well as spreading it around all of Miami, not just Coral Gables, to let people know.
So tell me, you know, when you think about museum and fundraising, it's normally you associate it with an older crowd, but these are young associates. Is there a particular age group, and who is it open to?
Our group is open to 21 to 40 to become an executive member, but we are not age discriminatory to coming to our events. So we have people from 80 years old to 18 coming to some of our events, and really we just want to talk about Coral Gables, bring people back into the city. I think that it's important to start a young professionals group at at any type of organization, because you start to build the philanthropic desire within them. So when they're older and they do have the money to be able to give a significant gift, they'll remember the museum and all the great parties that the Young Associates had for them.
So why did you get involved? I mean, what led you to do this at the Coral Gables Museum?
Well, I was asked to sit on the board by George Koukouris, actually, who was the chairman of the board at the time, and he asked me to come onto the board and help with events and the young professionals, and I figured the best way to do it was to just start an initiative and roll with it, and it's really taken off, and I have, like I said, I have a great committee that makes it pretty easy to continue to do it.
Are you surprised by the response that you've gotten so far?
Overwhelmingly surprised, actually. Yeah. It's been really good. Every time I send an email to let people know, I have we have contact lists of almost 1,000 people of just our young associates, and it's overwhelming the response that I'll get to an email about a cocktail party we may be having or something. So it's really nice to know that people want to keep engaged with what we're doing and get involved, not only with the young associates, but with the museum as well.
And the fundraising, I mean, it's a significant amount of money that you raise as well. I mean, you're going to have that one in November. Tell me about the others that you've had in the past. Something for Valentine's?
Yes. So we do our two big fundraisers, our Party on the Plaza, and then we do a Valentine's Day pub crawl. So it's a stoplight theme. If you're single, you wear green. If it's complicated, you wear yellow. And if you're taken, you wear red. So it makes it really easy for conversations to flow at the pub crawl. So after this third Party on the Plaza, with our goal being $50,000, we'll have raised over $100,000 in our 3 years for the museum.
Okay. And what do you think about this is also, so the main goal is to raise money for the museum, but man, it seems like it's a great networking for these young professionals as well.
It is. The raising money portion is obviously something that we try to do to support them financially. But personally, I think everyone enjoys the networking, not only within the young professionals, but with the board members. We have an amazing board of trustees there at the museum. So I really try to promote the board interacting with our young associates I think that's a huge benefit as well, especially the members of the museum. We have so many amazing members that are involved in the community, some that aren't involved in the community but still make it out to the museum. So it's good networking. They have amazing events, not only the ones that the Young Associates do, the Coral Gables Museum has an amazing calendar of events, so they're invited to everything.
So lastly, tell me about the November event that you're going to have and what we can expect from that one.
It's going to be November 1st, 2013. Mark your calendars. This year will be a masquerade theme since it's the day after Halloween.
Okay.
We're hoping we close down the plaza. We have open bar provided by Bacardi. I'm waiting for their sponsorship. We have little bites from all different restaurants in Coral Gables. We have a DJ, and then we do an after party at John Martin's.
Wow, sounds like fun.
It is a great time.
Congratulations. You've really done a lot and accomplished a lot, and obviously the museum and everyone else gets to benefit from all your hard work, so we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now.
Help stop red light running. Go to stoponred.org to support intersection safety programs in your community. The life you save may be the one you love.
Welcome back. There are several interesting tours that take place in Coral Gables, but there's one that makes learning about the city fun. The Coral Gables Museum and Bike Walk Coral Gables offer bike tours. Now here today to talk to us about it is Museum Director Chris Rupp and David Rifkind, a professor of architecture at Florida International University. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So I think what's interesting about these tours is that you can go every month and it's always going to be different.
That's correct. We theme the tours according to exhibitions and also time of the year. So we do 4 different series every year according to the season. So we have Spring Petals, Summer Spokes, Autumn Trails, and Winter Wanders. And then we talk about our exhibitions, how they're themed and how it relates to the city. And then we bring in local experts to guide the tours as well. So it's great family fun. It's a slow-paced tour, and we always try to integrate a little food at the end too, to make it a complete day.
And so we went to one, we tagged along, and we thought it was great. And I think that the fact that you're incorporating bikes helps you to move and explore more of the area than you normally would if you'd be walking.
Absolutely. Plus, we really promote biking at the museum as a way of getting to work and getting around. As you know, our building's LEED certified. We have showers, and we encourage employees to bike to work. And about 50% of my employees actually do bike to work on a daily basis. So it's something that we'd love to see more around the Gables, is people on bikes and looking at it as a viable form of transportation. So this gives us a way to have fun and talk about being green at the same time.
And so as I said before, we tagged along on one of the tours. It was specific about Spain. Tell me about how did you guys pick that? How was it decided?
Well, as you know, Coral Gables is deemed an old Spanish village, and this year is the 500th anniversary of Ponce de Leon discovering Florida. And so there's many celebrations with that Spanish theme around the state. So we figured this would be a great time to talk about the Spanish influence, celebrate those 500 years, and obviously it relates to the museum and our exhibition on Gables history.
So David, this May is going to be when you're going to give your tour. Every time you go on the tour, it's different. You've got a different guide, so that's good to see. How did you get involved with this one?
I started working with the Coral Gables Museum a few years ago, and I got involved through the Green Mobility Network, which organized the Tweed rides beginning a few years ago, which were these really leisurely paced rides through Coral Gables. It's an international movement, the Tweed ride, and I came along as a kind of a tag-along lecturer to talk about architecture and urban design as part of Coral Gables. And then with the tour in May, it also meshes with another one of my interests, because my research interests are actually in 20th century Italian architecture, and so it was the perfect synergy to talk about the Italian portions of Coral Gables.
So and it's so nice to see that everything like comes together, because right now you've got an exhibition on Italy.
That's correct.
And so I think it ties perfectly with this theme. Is that exactly how you picked it out for that reason?
Sure, it is. And 2013 is the Year of Italian Culture in the United States, is deemed by the U.S. government. And so the museums had many events based on this Italian theme, and so we thought, why not highlight, you know, the beautiful Italian influence in the city, most notably, obviously, the Venetian pool, and we have an Italian village in the city, and there are other accents. So we thought it would be great to work with David to bring this to the public, and again, in a fun manner, and highlight what the museum's doing as well.
So David, tell me some of the little highlights that people can expect when they go on this tour.
Well, we're going to take a little ride around downtown and then out through Venetian Pool and over to the Italian Village. And we're going to have a chance to see some of the Italian influence in Coral Gables at different scales. So we'll see large public spaces like the Venetian Pool, as well as the collection of houses that were designed to resemble houses in Italy in the Italian Village. One of the really beautiful things about the design of Coral Gables is the idea that you would have these villages made up of houses that all shared some kind of connection to the heritage of some distant place. So there's the Dutch South African village, the Chinese village, and so on. And the Italian village is a really fascinating collection of houses that are all from just a 2 or 3 year period between about 1925 and 1927, but really elegant little villas. And then you also have the major places. The ones that people know best are things like the Venetian Pool, which is designed to resemble the Venetian lagoon as if it was clean enough to go swimming in. And it's a really spectacular public monument. And then at the same time, it'll give us an opportunity to talk about urban planning, where the city beautiful aspects of Coral Gables really draw on some of the really important urban planning gestures that you see in Rome, starting in the Baroque era with this relationship between monuments, things like the De Soto Fountain, for instance, and the succession of towers that begins at the Douglas Road entrance, goes through City Hall to the De Soto Fountain, and then eventually to the Biltmore Hotel. That kind of urban planning has distant Italian origins, and so it'll give us a chance to talk about that.
Wow, very interesting. It sounds like it's going to be a really nice tour. Well, thank you to both of you. We appreciate you being here. And the next one, right after this one, in June, there's going to be another one. It's June 16th at 11 a.m. and it's going to focus on the beautiful shady canopy. So you're really touching all the topics here. The tours cost about $10 for the general public and $5 for museum members. And if you want more information or to RSVP, you can always call 305-603-8067. And of course, you don't have to be a tourist to go on this. You'd learn a lot just from visiting your city. There's still much more to come on Coral Gables Now. Here's Tanya Leitz.
Find out where this young 8-year-old star showcased her talents.
And do you have plans this summer? We'll give you some ideas coming up next.
Take a pop quiz with me. In what film did I feel a need for speed? What was my call sign? Who did I sit behind in the F-14? Oh, and one more question. Who does your kid sit behind in homeroom?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
Welcome back. Do you have plans for your children when school ends? Coral Gables offers many activities that keep your kids safe and having fun. Rodolfo Roman has that story and others on City News.
Bucky, summer is upon us, and what better way than to spend it right here in the City Beautiful. Coral Gables is offering several summer camps for your family and yourself that will keep you entertained and active during the dog days of summer. Need to keep your family busy this summer? Well, the Coral Gables Parks and Recreation has you covered. There are several summer camps for all ages Monday through Friday starting next month. Children work on their creativity through art and stay active by participating in sports. Prices and times vary. Check out gablesrecreation.com for a list of camps being offered. One of Coral Gables' jewels is ready to welcome visitors. Historic Venetian Pool is now open. Enjoy the cool water temperature in the pool or get a suntan while laying on the sand. Venetian Pool has plenty to offer. The historic landmark has been visited by hundreds of thousands of tourists. But before jumping in the water, it is safe to say you'll need to learn how to swim. The Venetian Aquatic Club can assist you with learning how to swim. The nonprofit organization is dedicated to teaching children Red Cross swimming at the Venetian pool, and they are pros as they have taught swimming for 52 years. And Belky's The Aquatic Club also teaches adult swimming. And as you know, you're never too old to learn, especially right here in South Florida.
All right, thanks, Rodolfo. And staying with that summer theme, teenagers love summer because it's also prom season. It's an exciting and very important event for students. So we sent Veronica Fernandez out to give our young residents the inside scoop on this year's trends. Veronica?
Belkis, and as you know, brides-to-be come to Miracle Mile looking for the perfect wedding dress. But did you know that most boutiques in the area also carry beautiful prom dresses? I'm going to show you some of the hottest trends for this prom season. Trends in prom dresses are inspired by what some of Hollywood's youngest celebrities have worn to the red carpets. One trend that has been seen for a couple of years consecutively is metallics. Celebrities like Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift have worn lavish looks like this one to the red carpet. Another trend that has been going strong for a couple of seasons is bold colors. Lea Michele wore this beautiful pink gown to the red carpet of the SAG Awards, while Rihanna and Jennifer Lawrence opted to wear red gowns. The last trend I want to show you has been sported by Charlize Theron and Rosario Dawson, also on the red carpet. Peplum dresses are very flattering and also feminine. I'm sure girls are gonna feel like princesses wearing any of these styles. That's all I have. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Veronica, for those tips. We'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Welcome back. We all know there are a lot of talented people in Coral Gables, and this next story is the perfect example. Tanya Leeds caught up with an 8-year-old resident who's already graced the Broadway stage. Tanya?
Well, I'm here with Ava-Riley Miles, and she was recently in Broadway in the debut of Evita. So Ava, hi, how are you today?
I'm good, and how are you?
Good, thank you. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself and growing up in Coral Gables.
Well, I've lived in Coral Gables all my life, and I think it's a nice area.
How did you know you wanted to get into theater?
Well, when I was 2, my mom played the soundtrack Wicked in the car, and I loved the music. And when I was about 3 years old, she finally took me to see it, and I just loved it and knew I wanted to do that.
Ava-Riley has auditioned for many shows, including some here at the Actors Playhouse. She played the role of Anne in Madeline's Christmas, and little did she even dream that 2 years later, she'd land a role on Broadway. She headed to New York City as she began rehearsing for her debut for the musical Evita. This show tells the story of the First Lady of Argentina, Eva Perón, as she rose to power from poverty, making national headlines not only from its cast, but its last appearance on Broadway was in 1979. Tell me about your experience on the Broadway show when you were up in New York.
It was the best thing that has ever happened to me. All the people were so nice, and it was so fun to be with all these talented people, and I learned so much from that experience.
Miles' role in the musical was a scene of the child singing Santa Evita.
Please, gentle Ava, will you bless a little child? For I love you. Tell heaven I'm doing my best. I'm praying for you, even though you're already blessed.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
What are your plans for the future?
I don't know. I'm gonna be an actress.
And you have an audition coming up this summer, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to audition for Annie at Miami Children's Theater.
Okay. And how do you feel about the support you have from your family and your friends?
I really love that they're also supportive for me.
And what are some of your favorite things about being on stage and being in front of so many people?
I love entertaining the audience because I feel like it's a time where I can just have a lot of attention and shine.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
For Coral Gables Now, this has been Tanya Leitz. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Tanya. And that just goes to show you that you are never too young to pursue your dreams. And that does it for this edition of Coral Gables Now. Thanks for watching Coral Gables Television. And you can catch our programming also on YouTube. That's www.youtube.com/Coral Gables TV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month.